been a field producer for outdoor television since the early 90s. I spend a lot of days in the field. I've traveled as much as 250 to 300 days a year, probably in the field 200 plus days a year, hunting in various countries and states. Even just in the past year or so, all over Alaska. I spent 5 months in Alaska last year, 4 different countries, Patagonia, Argentina, Mexico, Canada, 27 plus states, shooting different shows for outdoor television. One of the shows that I field produce is Drake's Migration Nation. And through that, I was fortunate enough to get the Drake Guardian Elite 3-layer systems coat early on. I think it was 2014. And be able to put some hours on it and give them some feedback on that coat and how it worked for me. One of the reasons that Drake chose me to field test this coat is I'm in the field so many days and I'm in so many varied types of weather. Most people, if it's a rainy day or wet outside, they just won't hunt. I don't have that option. When the production crew is there and we have our job to do, we go rain or shine. Probably 20% of that time is in the rain or some type of inclement weather, either all day or brief showers. You never know what you're going to get. You have to have something that you can depend on, something that you rely on because your life depends on it. It's tough, inclement weather where we're at. We have to have gear to compensate for that. If my expensive camera goes down, it's not a life or death situation. If my coat fails on me and I get wet, it could be a life or death situation. It's very important to be dry and know that you're going to be dry before you even leave for the trip. With so many days and so many hours in the field each year, one thing I've learned is that temperature is only a part of the mix. Humidity is another part, wind is another part, and overcast days is another part. If you combine all those elements together, you can have a 50-degree day that's damp, cloudy, and high wind, and it'll chill you to the bone. You've got to have a layering system like Drake has to be able to pop those layers on. I carry them in my pack and I can layer up and compensate for that if the weather changes at a moment's notice, which it frequently does. For me, I don't have the luxury of bringing 2 or 3 different coats. I can only have one coat that I carry with me because of all the other camera gear that we have. We're limited on the amount of gear that we can take on these trips. From a durability standpoint, we put the coats through the ringer. A lot of times we'll fly into a remote destination, jet boat 100 plus miles upriver, and then take off from there and make camp sometimes several days away from any type of civilization. What you have is what you're gonna have. You're not gonna run around the corner and pick up another coat if you need it. So it's very important that your system works and that you trust in it. I was hunting in the Arctic last year. We had just gotten there. It was first day. We marched up from the top of a mountain to Glass and see if we could find some caribou. It turned colder than we thought and the wind picked up. I had on the Guardian Elite 3-layer systems coat. I was dry as a bone, very comfortable. We're glassing, set up camera. I have 2 hunters with me to my right. It wasn't too long I looked over there and both of them were literally shaking visibly where I could see they were shaking. One of them turned to me and he said, "You must be the toughest one of all." They had some other expensive gear, other name brand gear, but it wasn't working. So it lasted about 2 hours. We ended up crawling down the hill, going to the tents. They got in the sleeping bags to warm up. One of the most impressive things that I'd seen with any piece of clothing that I've had, and one reason why I have so much respect and so much faith in this coat. Last year, we were in southeast Alaska. It's a temperate rainforest. On our 12-day trip, it rained nonstop for 11 of those 12 days. It was miserable for some of the guys. I have to say I was actually bone dry the entire time. It's the only garment I've ever had that's been able to do that, that's kept me bone dry for extended periods of time out in wet weather. Through my travels, I've been offered other gear from other companies that are sponsoring other TV shows. I haven't accepted that because I don't need it. I rely on Drake, I trust Drake, and really have no reason to go anywhere else. It does everything I want it to do. It's phenomenal. The Guardian Elite 3-layer systems coat is the only coat that I've taken since 2014. I believe in it, I rely on it, and it's what I've settled on. It's the only thing I've worn. So the coat I've been using is this one here. It still works. It's still waterproof. It's still going. There's no rips, no tears. This 3-layer material is very, very rugged. It's thick. You can feel it when you touch it. It's thick. It's just been an awesome garment for me. I really appreciate this and trust it. When my job, and more importantly my life, depends on it, I choose the Drake Guardian Elite 3-layer systems coat. In fact, I've been packing all afternoon, and this coat is going to go back with me again tomorrow, once again, for another Alaskan adventure.